Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Shannon and this is Shan's Plans. Today I'm going to be using the Live Love Posh Blooms, the Color Me Happy, and the Brights Mega Value Pack stickers. I'm going to be working in my Wrong dashboard planner. It's a classic size. And because I'm not going to be using the icons in this, they don't quite go with the florals and stuff I want to use, I'm going to be covering those up with some whiteout. This is my favorite whiteout so far that I've used. And I'm going to be covering that ice cream cone, the burger, and then the girl below. And sometimes I use them. I really like Wrong's illustrations. I just didn't want to use them this week. I am going to be working with the pink that's on the page, the purple that's on the page, and then adding some of that teal. So big things like this are the hardest things to cover for me. But I definitely wanted to cover it up. I wasn't sure quite what I wanted to use over top of it yet. Generally, if you have a large place to cover like this, then you want to use one of those large stickers, either a box or florals or something there to cover it up. When you write on the whiteout, it doesn't quite look the same color as when you're on just regular paper. So it doesn't look quite as neat. I'm looking forward to some neutral dashboard planners coming up soon, hopefully. I saw a few come out with the release, and I was kind of thinking about the Mickey one, but we'll see. Alright, so from here I'm going to start by placing some of those stickers that I pulled from the books. Generally I use old sticker pads that were all used up, that all the stickers were gone from, and I'll pull and put all the stickers that I want to use in a spread on that. I do use the sticker guides sometimes, but just decided not to today since it was a pretty easy spread to do. I left that corner up in case I wanted to put a box under there. This was my favorite sticker from the whole thing, so it inspired the spread for sure. Inspired the colors and the florals and everything else. I'm going to trim off that little box at the end, the talk box, and just make it a regular box. Use that to cover up that large spot that we whited out. Then I decided that on every spread I do on this YouTube channel, I want to add a little surprise of something you wouldn't expect. So you saw a little sneak peek of that second. We're going to come back to that at the end here. But for now we're going to cover up that burger icon using one of their florals. And I decided to press that down since I wasn't going to be using a box with it. And so instead of taking up a whole lot of space on Monday, I wanted to use that corner floral, but just not all of it, so leave a little more room to write for me. I do like a really functional spread, so the more room to write, the better. I want it to look pretty, but I want to use it too. So I'm just clipping off the extra here. Pressing everything down, making sure it's sealing to the page. And then I would have liked to use that there, but it does look kind of funny with that straight spot cut there. So I'm going to save it for later and see if I can find somewhere else to use it. And now I'm going to start placing some of those boxes. So sometimes I will layer boxes, other times I won't, just kind of depends on the boxes that I find. And for this spread, I'm going to go ahead and use a box or something to write in each day. I'm lifting the corner of that box so I can place that floral underneath. And eventually I'll cut off the edges so that way it's flush with the edge of the paper. Then to try and stay balanced, I'm going to use the same size box but a different color on the other side of that right page. So just trying to balance the right page on both sides of it. Here I placed that header, but I end up not liking it there. Actually, I like it more in the video than I did in person. So I'm going to move that later. I do try to use all the stickers that I pull so that way I don't really have to place any back. I found a little header there. That's the area where I put my chores for the day or for the week. So it's by each day. And by doing a chore each day, I keep the house clean throughout the whole week. So Mondays I'll do bathrooms, Tuesday dust, Wednesday floors, that kind of stuff. And that's a great place to keep track of chores. So here I decided to go with my tweezers to help me make sure these boxes lay straight. I'm bringing some pink down to that left corner. Here I'm going to start laying some of those smaller boxes, and I like to lay them two beside each other to create the same size as those larger boxes. Now sometimes I'll use this to layer over a big box or a medium-sized box, but this spread I decided just to use them on their own and then be able to write next to them. Again, trying to bring balance in color and in size to that top right corner. And then I see, okay, I need to have one on Tuesday or something on Tuesday. So to be balanced, I'm going to bring in two of those pink small boxes. So I'm again balancing the color and balancing the shape from below. And then I'm just adding a little decoration to bring in the color, to vary the shapes so that it's a little more appealing to the eye. And here I'm kind of using that rule of 3. So 3 circles through the spread. And because you can see there's that large white space in the middle of that circle sticker, I'm going to white out the purple outline to the square one to make sure that you can not see it through. It does make it a little harder to write in the pink circle, so you could always cut that out if you wanted to. I just kind of avoid it. So it's looking pretty good so far. I'm feeling like everything's balanced. I'm wanting to add some quotes, so we're going to white out that bills to pay. And I noticed afterwards that this green doesn't really match with the teal. It does when you look at it in person, but not so much here. But it's close enough. I think it looks pretty good. You can't have a spread without quotes anyways. Now here I'm putting those little flags on Friday. So since I already have so many boxes on each day, I wanted to kind of change it up, and uh, the florals, they're kind of blocking the edge of the page, so flags always help you to bring in color and give you a starting point for your writing. Yet they leave a lot of space to write usually. The smaller the icon, the more space you have to write. These are fairly large, but still plenty of room. So I'm just double checking that I have something for each box. And I did, so we're pretty done with the right side. As for function, we're good to go. And here I decided I'm going to cut off the pink floral on this so that I can use just the quote. I set it aside right after I cut this and completely forgot to put it on the spread. But I did end up putting it on the spread before our Instagram picture. I believe I put it right above the purple box on the right side. So I got distracted by these pretty purple florals. I'm going to end up cutting them in half and then using each half on a different box. So just make sure when you're doing this that you pay attention to which color florals are where, and then also which side of the leaves that are coming out of the flower are facing, and then also which side of the box the florals are coming from. So just try to vary things as much as you can. You wouldn't want the same color flower next to each other, or the same direction of that flower. I mean, sometimes the same color is okay, and sometimes the same direction is okay, but if your entire spread is like that, then it's not as appealing. So here I'm just using the halves of those florals. Just trying to decide where that larger half of the floral can go. Now, because these florals are paper, they do have that white outline outside of them. And they work pretty good on their own. They work great for if you want to write on them. But when you're trying to layer them, they're a little harder to layer. So I'm going to go back to trying to find a place for that extra corner piece from the beginning of the spread. And because it looks a little funny with that straight bottom, I am going to add some stuff to it. So I'm going to add a banner to try and kind of cover up that straight area. Now later on, after I finish the video, I do decide that I want to change that up some. So you will notice a little difference in the Instagram photo. But for now, this is looking good and I like it in person. I just noticed here that it's a little too low. So I want to raise it up some, which means I'm going to have to cut off some of that floral at the top. But it'll give me a little bit more space to write my to-dos and tasks and things on the left. And I'm okay with covering up May. I feel like I know what month it's going to be. I can always, double check on the monthly, especially the first week of the month because, well, it's right on the next page. So I'm going to trim off that extra. Banners are another thing that are super hard to get straight, so definitely don't feel discouraged if your banners are crooked. I think they're supposed to be not straight anyways, which is why they're so hard to get straight. All right, so there I've trimmed that off. I'm just doing a little extra, straightening it up. Then I'm just kind of trying to use every sticker that I have on the sticker pads to make sure, I use them all up. I don't want to put them back, so. So on every week, I try to use some sort of meal planner sticker or have some area where I can write in what we're going to eat for the week. This one only has 3, but that actually works out pretty good because generally we buy 3 meals and then cook and create them and then eat the rest for leftovers the rest of the week. So I'm going to move this over just a little. I didn't really like it to the left. I'm going to use it more as a group for that purple box and that pink circle. So I'm going to stick those closer together. So more like I'm layering without fully layering. Creates a little less of a gap on that right side. And here I'm just kind of pressing stuff down, making sure everything's stuck. Sometimes when you take those stickers up a few times, it's hard to get them to stick. So here's our little treat, our little special thing that you normally wouldn't see with flowers and boxes. And especially not like jungle themed flowers. So just something a little different to throw in. I think this bird goes really well though because of the colors. And also because we have a little animal print on the inside of the bind. And so it's a nice little treat to kind of pull that in there. So something unexpected and whimsical is always a good touch. Now here I'm going to start adding those headers again. Since I did cover up one of them, I feel like I need to cover up the others. But I'm still okay with those days of the week being different. I generally like the writing that they have for those and rarely cover them up, rarely cover up the numbers. So here I'm going to cut this one in half again. With it being the pink and purple, it's a nice sticker to cut in half because you get all of those colors on there. So I don't want to cover up the animal print. So instead I'm going to place it on the bottom of that box instead of the left side. It still leaves me a little room to write in on the right side. Of course, we can write in the box as well. And then I'm going to use that other half on the top. And because I'm going to start layering that top there, I decide to try and cut the sticker as close as I can, so cutting that white border off as close as I can. And of course you don't have to do that all the way across the stickers, but just where you want the two stickers to cross over and have it look like they're all one. Now ultimately I decide, because there's two pink, baby's breath looking flowers, that I need to separate those. So I decide to leave a little space in between that I can use a different floral for. So even though I've cut it, it's okay, it'll work. So as I'm looking at the spread here, I start to notice that there's a lot of florals at the top of the page and really not that much at the bottom, but I'm thinking I write a lot in those open spaces, so it's okay if there's more going on at the top right now, because later it's going to be a lot more even. A lot of that empty space is going to get filled in with writing. There I trimmed that flower. You're going to see me trim the leaves so that again I can layer it without there being white in between the two. And here I did put a purple flower next to, I guess it's next to a blue one, but technically it's next to that purple floral on the right. But I feel like that's okay because of that light blue flower in between, and also because the leaves are there, kind of separating the two. So just trying to make it look like one sticker. And I think it looks pretty good. So then I decide to start working on the bottom left side to fill in a little more so that it does look like there is a little more floral down there. And finally decide on placing it in the box and just trim it down to fit some. I don't want to take up too much space on that left side on the bottom, because I'll generally put a habit tracker or something there in that grid. So putting it in the box is better for me because I'll use that box less than I will that space on the left. Still needs a little trim to fit. At this point you can see I have little sticker pieces flying all around, sticking to me and sticking to the table and sticking to everything. So next I'm going to place a header for that habit tracker. I'm going to use the priority. And just place it covering that whited out icon. So again, trying to cover up as much of the whited out space as we have. And to make a habit tracker on the grid, all you need is 7 places on the top, and then however many you want on the side. I'm going to use my 005 pin. Or I guess you could call it a marker. And I'm just going to do a little script in the box to label that habit tracker. And generally, I like to either change up I'm going to trim that off here, change up the script or change up the size of the pen that I'm using, or both. Here I just decided to change the script a little bit. Kind of just working with what I have right there by me with that one pen. And then some cursive for the tracker. I'm still working on my script. I guess being an artist, it feels like whatever I write, as long as I like it, that's all that really matters. So that's some good advice that I have for you, is just make sure you like the way things look. It may not be right, it may not be what everyone else does, but that's okay. Here I'm counting out my 7 and writing my Monday through Sunday. And I'm counting out to see how many little squares I have down the side, to make sure that the 7 days are good to put at the top. I love that lantern there, so I like that I'll be writing next to it a lot this week. Then on the left side, going down, I'll write numbers until I figure out what it is I want to put in my habit tracker. And then, of course, where those two meet, that's where you cross off during the week, or scribble the box, or you can use a highlighter to kind of mark that you've done that. It's a great place to keep track of medicines and vitamins, things like that. I'm very forgetful, so having it written down and be able to look back and see that I've taken it is a great thing. So we are just about done here. I'm just going to kind of check over everything, see how it feels, know that I can still move things if I need to. All right, and I'm going to review those books that I used. And then I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like my page, follow me, like this video, do everything you can. I'm on Instagram if you want to find me on Instagram as Shan's Plans. That's 2 N's on Shan's. And I really appreciate you guys stopping by and planning with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy your week. And I'll see you later.